Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge in financial freedom. Today, I've got a few headlines about Ethereum. They've been seeing quite a bit of movement on their blockchain and also off of exchange. So we'll dive into those headlines after we get you prepped for some success today. I've got that stock heat map pulled up. Let's get swapped over to that. We did see a bit of a mixed bag in the markets yesterday. Apple sitting in that neutral range, up 0.01 in the pre-market, seeing a bit of some sell-off so far. We've got Nvidia sitting up at 2.87% in the pre-market, also seeing some sell-off, down 0.78 right now. Got Berkshire Hathaway sitting down 0.54%, and in the pre-market sitting up just a little bit, up 0.16. We've got Amazon, which was up quite nicely from its close yesterday, up 1.74 in the pre-market, looking to take back some of those gains, down 0.78. Just switched to 0.83 actually. We've got Eli Lilly is sitting down 1.07, and in the pre-market sitting down 0.45. We've got ExxonMobil doing quite nicely. We've got it up 1.91%, and in the pre-market continuing on those gains, up 0.25% right now. We've got Tesla still getting hit quite hard, down 3.01%, and in the pre-market also continuing on those losses, down 0.5% so far. Got P&G sitting quite neutral. It is quite inflation resistant, and it is sitting down 0.26%, and the pre-market sitting down just a slight bit, down 0.11. We've got Microsoft sitting up 0.6 from its close yesterday, and in the pre-market seeing some light sell-off, down 0.27. We've got Google sitting up 0.57% from its close, and in the pre-market also seeing some light sell-off, down 0.37. And we've got Meta sitting up 0.4 in that neutral range, and in the pre-market sitting down 0.38 so far. We've got the crypto side of things looking quite green for the daily. Bitcoin up 0.68. We've got Ethereum up 1.69. XRP surpassing Tether once again in market cap, up 2.9%. We've got Solana up 1.31. We've got BNB being that big winner so far, up 4.03. We've got Cardano, another big winner, back above some levels we've wanted to see hold, and it's up a 13.13%. We've got Dogecoin sitting up at 3.76, Tron sitting up at 0.93. We've got Chainlink up 3.77, Avalanche sitting up at 3.06, and Sui sitting up 8.63. We also have Stellar Lumen sitting up at 6.72, and Litecoin sitting up 6.53. Let's hop over to that economic calendar for today, because we do have some heavy data, that not necessarily heavy data, but a heavy speech that might move the markets today. We do have Fed Hammock speaking today, and at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we will be having Fed Jerome Powell speaking. He will be giving a little bit of a teaser on what we might see on the next coming federal rate decision. I am looking at no change. I have been seeing quite a bit from these Fed chairs, saying that they want to see either the labor market weakening or inflation increasing before they make a rate decision in either direction here. So I do think we stay on pause, and I will be mostly listening to the tone of Fed Chair Jerome Powell's speech today. I kind of want to hear how he's feeling about the labor market. I know his words won't matter as much as the way he says it, though. That might cause a bit of some sell-off for today, or it might just keep us moving sideways in the range that we've been moving. We do have Fed Bowman speaking today as well, and Fed Williams. Both of those are at 3:30 Eastern Time. And then tomorrow, we will be getting some more heavy data. We'll be getting that 30-year mortgage rate application rate, as well as the housing market index and the refinance index. That might move the markets just a little bit before we get the actual heavy data for the week. That will be that core inflation rate month over month and year over year. Both of those kind of looking a little bit like they're contradictory for the movements you might see. You've got the core inflation rate month over month heading in the wrong direction, while that core inflation rate year over year is ticking down just from point 0.2 to 0.1. Sorry about that. Tripping up over my words this morning. We got that CPI headed in the wrong direction as well, from 315.61 to 317.42. Definitely a move in the wrong direction for the consumer side on things. We do see the inflation rate month over month looking like it's headed in the right direction, while that inflation rate year over year might hold steady at 2.9%. This will be the heavy data for the week, and that is all coming out before market open at 8:30 tomorrow. We also have another speech coming from Fed Chair Jerome Powell tomorrow. So we'll be getting a lot of heavy data tomorrow, and a lot of today's moves will be in preparation for making the most money tomorrow. We also will get that crude oil stock information just like every Wednesday. Let's hop over to our fear and greeds. We do have a bit of a change here. Stock market sitting back in that neutral range, sitting at 47, up just a point here. Could definitely see that heading back in the wrong direction though, if we see a little bit of some sell-off in preparation for tomorrow's data. We do have the crypto side of things also sitting at 47, up 4 points and back in that neutral range as we made a little bit of a move to the upside. For this daily liquidation heat map, let's get that refreshed. We've got a bit of a hot spot to the bottom side of us still, sitting around that 96,600 range, all the way up to 96,800. Very light hot spot for the bottom side. We do have a nice little hot spot to the top side that we've left open from yesterday. That's starting at about 99,000 and runs all the way up to 99,300, almost 400 on that. So we could see a bit of some wicking above that if we do go grab that top side liquidity, and that would kind of leave us for some more downside movements. You do have that 3-day kind of looking like it's all top side action. Top side liquidity runs all the way up to that 99,300, and it is a massive hot spot. We do have a bit lying down at that 96,200 range and a little bit below that 95 as well. You move that on out to the weekly, things are starting to look kind of iffy on which direction we might head. You do have a bit of a light hot spot sitting to the bottom side of us at 96,450, and a light hot spot sitting to the top side of us at 100,100. So could really send things in either direction. I'd kind of leaning towards that downside if we see a bit of some ugliness on that inflation data. If you see it a bit mixed, if that core inflation heads in the wrong direction, you might see that bottom side sweep and then moving back up to the top side. Would definitely need to see us creating some support at some of these higher levels if we want to continue that move to the upside though. We do still have that hotspot sitting at about 103,000 for that 2 week, and a nice light hotspot sitting at 106,700. We have been taking out a lot of the bottom side liquidity that has been stacking up on those longer term time frames, and kind of leaving just a light liquidity sitting down there. You do have that 1 month still sitting at that same little hot spot to the top side. That low hot spot is at those extremes back below 80,000. So a nice hot spot sitting at that 108,200, where we could eventually go back up and grab that top side liquidity. Would really need to see some strong money flow coming back in here to get us back up to that point though. Let's take a look at the chat. I see y'all are in here, moving the chat quite a bit this morning. We've got Jesse Gulak in here. Scadwick Gaming, never seen your name in here before. Welcome to the Piper Academy. I hope you're having a good morning so far. We've got Knoxville in here with the pink hand. Jesse saying good morning to Knox. We've got Moho in the chat. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Got that caffeine in and ready to hit the charts. Let's see, we got Stegahart in here dropping some taco emojis. Might have to see if we can get those added in here eventually. We got Piper was talking about a taco emoji eventually for OC. Just need a few more subs to the channel. We've got All Set in here saying good morning to everyone. Got Jesse Gulak saying smash the like button. Tony Montana, hello sir, what do you think about Wild Goat Coin? I've never heard of it, so I don't have any thoughts. I'm not sure if that's a meme, but I could probably take a look at that later if it's on TradingView. I'm not gonna dive into any of those degen places to look at coins though, so we will get that one added to the list. WGC. We got Al Jr. in the chat saying good morning to everyone. Got maybe a Band-Aid in here as well. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Oh, let me get that Band-Aid emoji for you. There we go. Got maybe a Band-Aid in here. Got Chris Klein. How you doing? Glad I got to catch you live. Good morning, Chris Klein. I'm glad to see you here from the Otter Gang. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Let's see. Got anyone else in here? Anyone else? Not seeing anyone else so far. I will take a look back at the chat after we dive into some Bitcoin. I was taking a look at it on that 4-hour chart, and we are starting to see a bit of some resistance as we're getting to a level I had talked about yesterday. I wanted to see us get above 98,400 and really reclaim that as some support. That was a short-term area that I wanted to see us hold, and we have looked like we wicked above it briefly before really coming back down on it. The 4-hour looking a bit toppy here. Your money flow is starting to turn green though, so if we can continue to see that money flow going green and staying solidly green as the volume is decreasing just a bit, you might see that push back up just slightly, grab some of that top side liquidity there. You do have that 1 hour looking like you might already be seeing that move to the downside, and just looking to try to see where we find that support here. Let's zoom this on in here, and you can kind of see I pulled a fib from the bottom down here to the top up here We did break outside of it very briefly, but we held that 50% line on our fib quite nicely here. That would be the next kind of area I would look at us coming back down to bounce on is somewhere around this 50% or the 382 there, sitting at 97,200 as we are getting a brief little move to the downside before we try to go grab that top side liquidity. You have money flow looking like it's just some light selling pressure for now. So if we can at least maintain some of the buying pressure here as your volume starts to pick up back up, this divergence plays out back down to that 382. We got that nice solid bounce before the move back up to that 98,400 that I was talking about yesterday. You might see us try to reclaim that and make that move to topside liquidity, which is sitting in this whole area up here. This whole area is a nice area of liquidity which we can go grab. We would just need to hold this 98,400 on a short term to really get that move back to the top side, back to those levels we want to see above 100,000. Let's zoom this on in to the 15-minute, see what the morning is bringing our way. You are starting to see money flow being very green here on the 15-minute as we have been trying to hold price on some key areas up here. You have the potential for a 236 bounce, but I would look for more of that bottom side back down to the 382, especially with how quickly things are moving and how sharply that volume is falling off right now. Looks to be a little more of that selling pressure coming in as that volume is faltering just a bit. Really waiting to see if this money flow can kind of stay resilient here in this range. Once we get back down to that 382, see a little bounce here before we move back up to the top side. Been killing it in trading Caspa lately. Trading chops. Chop is a pain, but it pays off having great guys like you to do great TA for the morning, afternoon, evening, and night. So thank you, sir. I appreciate you, Chris Klein. We do our best here at the Piper Academy. I traded Caspa quite a bit because it liked to range and create nice little bull flags, and so I would just trade the top, trade the bottom, wait for that little breakout signal, and then it would just blast through, and then I'd start the process all over again. So Caspa makes some nice formations to trade on. I haven't traded it in quite a while. I've been focusing more on trading my Bitcoin and bumping up the leverage a bit, being a degen that way. Got trading Popcat now, waiting for this long to play out. I realize now that I front ran it a bit. I might have to take a look at Popcat today. Maybe I can still get in on that move. I haven't traded a alt in quite a while. I've just been more bumping up that leverage on Bitcoin to try to get some of those same gains. Sometimes you can just hit that 75x and still get pretty nice gains off of a nice little 1% move on Bitcoin. All right, I did have a few news articles pulled up for today. They are very, very Ethereum heavy because there's been quite a bit of Ethereum news coming out. People have been talking about the flippening. I don't think we're quite there yet, but I do think Ethereum might be prepping for some upside movement. Ethereum has underperformed, but total value locked on Ethereum is rising, says Citi. Ethereum has underperformed year to date, declining over 20%, but fundamentals are improving and total value locked onto the Ethereum blockchain has risen dramatically, Wall Street Citibank said in a research report Monday. While user activity has been volatile in recent weeks, the fundamental backdrop is not all that murky, analyst-led Alex Saunders wrote. Citi noted that the TVL on Ethereum's network has risen sharply, while Ether exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are still seeing inflows, and inflows at the point where they've surpassed Bitcoin once again as search interest is rising. Following that U.S. election in November, Ether ETF flows turned positive, the report noted, with total inflows of $3.2 billion since their July launch. Stronger user growth on L2s and rival blockchains such as Solana has raised questions about Ethereum's competitive advantage, the report said. President Trump's World Liberty Financial holds more than 200 million of Ethereum, and this could be viewed as an additional motivation for ensuring the U.S. strengthens its support for the crypto industry, the bank said. Relative ETH and altcoin performance may serve as a gauge for how optimistic the industry is regarding the follow-through on regulatory clarity in the U.S. Let's take a look at this other article real quick because it kind of ties into the whole preparation where we might be seeing ETH make that nice topside move. We've got 224, 410 Ethereum exit exchanges and biggest Ethereum outflow in 2 years. In 24 hours between February 8th and 9th, Ethereum holders reportedly moved 224,000 Ethereum from centralized exchanges, marking the largest net outflow in nearly 2 years. This sudden movement is an indicator of growing belief in the cryptocurrency's long-term potential, rising accumulation as whales strengthen positions. Sentiment data shows that there is currently 9.63 million ETH, worth an estimated 26 billion, sitting in known exchange wallets. This is the lowest number since August 29th, 2024. According to crypto insights platforms, when investors pull assets from exchanges, it usually suggests they are looking to hold rather than sell, therefore reducing the sell-side pressure and lowering the likelihood of major price drops. When assets are moving away from exchanges, it's typically a signal of confidence by investors who are content with holding for the long term. However, the platform's analyst noted that ETH's performance this year will most likely be decided by Bitcoin's ability to stay afloat and rebound to its all-time high. Interestingly, the outflow has come in tandem with a number of Ethereum rails rising by 2.3% since the beginning of February, according to the well-regarded crypto expert Ali Martinez. This accumulation is signaling the growing accumulation and reinforcing the bullish sentiment among large investors, even as ETH's price remains under pressure. I won't dive too much into the rest of that article. It gets into a bunch of the numbers here, but Ethereum might be a nice buy at some of these lower levels. I know I bought just a little bit over the weekend when we hit some of those lower price ranges. I like Ethereum. It's not one of my bigger bags, but I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. It will struggle against some of these newer projects, but you have a lot of crypto that is built on top of Ethereum. So this is something I am very happy to see, especially with the most massive outflows from exchange that we've seen on Ethereum in 2 years. I see TradeFly in the chat. Good morning to you, sir. Up extra early. Oh, I forgot your work schedule switched around. So might be seeing you a little bit more in the mornings. I hope you're having a great morning so far. Doing some freedom fighting late night. We've got Alexandra G in the chat. Good morning, Mod Queen. Hope you're having a great morning. Getting that coffee in, getting all prepped for the day. TradeFly, what fun we had in the chat last night. Alexander saying smash that like button. We got Sinkin' Toaster with the rocket ships to the moon. Trades are looking nice too. Did we get the long? Yes, I guess. I was already in, but BTC went right up to where I was talking about. It went right up to where I was talking about yesterday too, TradeFly. I guess we do our TAs just a little bit different, but it's nice to hear that we have a bit of consensus on things. Got ETC is still better in my opinion. Oh boy, Chris Klein, I We actually had a giant chat in the Discord. If you haven't checked out the Discord, we've got our free section and our paid section where we had a talk with our upperclassmen yesterday where I kind of talked about that. I am more of a fan of Ethereum Classic than I am of Ethereum. And there's multiple reasons for that, and maybe when me and LBC do another special on a project, we can do an Ethereum one, and then I can let y'all know my thoughts there. It definitely is a bit of a project that holds a lot more value to me, especially since it is still proof of work. I did, if I'm trying to drop that WAP upperclassman for you. Let me get that link in the chat. There we go. Here we go. Dropping that WAP upperclassman. We do a lot for our members, and we've got a nice DCA strategy. We do a weekly meeting with you guys, and then we also in the free section have a weekly meeting where we talk over just the general market. We help y'all out with some TA. If you have questions, we can answer those one-on-one with you in the chat there. Got Harp in the chat. Good morning to you. I see Silver Days XRP. What that XRP army. Hope you're doing very well this morning. I saw XRP is doing quite well this morning. So got maybe a band-aid. Picked up some alt positions over the weekend. I hope I can survive. Still supposed to be self-imposed vacation from the chart, says maybe a band-aid. Well, it really just depends on what you bought there. I see a name I can't pronounce either. Good morning to you. I don't speak your language, so I'm not sure what your name is there. But if you've got an English equivalent to it, go ahead and drop it in the chat so I can give you a better personalized good morning. I did have one other article here, which touches on the debt that the new administration really wants to tackle. I've talked about it quite a bit on this show, where you are seeing the potential if we set things right to bring some strength back into the dollar by tackling some of the debt here. We are at massively high levels of debt considering our GDP, especially since we're not in any conflicts. You don't have massive recessionary talks or depression level economics going on right now. So it's kind of a little nice that we might tackle some of this debt, bring some of the strength back to the dollar, and maybe eventually peg the dollar to Bitcoin or some other crypto assets. I've been keeping my eye on that. There's no new news there, but I think we might hear some teasers coming out as we get outside of that first 100 days of the administration. Maybe a band-aid saying, yeah, after 43% equity gain January, I would prefer not to give it all back over trading. Most definitely maybe a band-aid. Protect that capital, because you can always trade another day. We've got Adam D in the chat. Good morning, folks. Gain time with the little raccoon there. Good morning to you. Let's dive into this news article, and then if you do have any alt requests you'd like me to take a look at, I've got plenty of time to dive into some alts today. I didn't have a whole lot I was looking at on the TradFi side. Got Besant could do this to tame the debt if he dares. Seemingly less audacious than some of others. Fumbling here. I've had no caffeine this morning. Let's try that one again. Seemingly less audacious than some of its other actions, the Trump administration wants to bring down the yield on the 10-year Treasury securities, but that yield is a set price by markets and is largely immune to government manipulation, though not entirely. The 10-year yield is both the most important price in capital markets and crucial cost to the federal government. Interest on government debt is fast rising expense in the federal budget, surpassing military spending and Medicare. So restraining its rise is key to the administration's other policy goals. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent contends his 3-3-3 economic plan of maintaining growth, reducing the federal budget deficit, and featuring spending cuts with the Department of Government Efficiency and boosting oil production will reduce long-term interest rates. That is open to question. Another tool, financial repression. The artificial suppression of interest rates below market levels has been used in the past by the U.S. federal government to cap its borrowing costs. It is not on the agenda now, but investors should become familiar with it given Trump's break with precedent early in his second term. And highlighting the aim to bring down the interest rates, Bessent insisted that the president was not trying to pressure the Federal Reserve to reduce its short-term policy rate. He and I are focused on the 10-year Treasury, Bessent said in an interview on Fox Business on Wednesday. The 10-year Treasury yield is a key determinant in private borrowing costs, from home mortgages to corporate bond yields, which in turn affects the validation of riskier investments, including common stocks. Finally, the cost of capital is a key constraint to economy's growth, but governmental bodies have limited and only indirect impacts on long-term rates. They are set by the market's expectations of future short-term rates, plus a so-called short-term premium on to compensate investors for risks of lengthier commitments. And this is something I've been keeping my eye on, especially as you've had Bessent being the voice of reason in this administration. Donald Trump was trying to bully the Federal Reserve, make them decrease those interest rates, and instead Bessent has been able to shift his focus to more indirect paths to get these borrowing costs down for your everyday American, and also for businesses as well. You do have that 10-year, as it's stated in the article, being that key to getting that interest rate down, especially since it is the base of the decisions on how banks loan their money. If you're going to get better rates on that 10-year than you are to loaning that out, then you're gonna go with that 10-year. If it is higher, then it kind of raises the cost of which you will lend money to your average person. You got Lunar Beaches Crypto in the chat. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day. It's been a little while since I've seen you. I know you were feeling a little bit under the weather, so I hope you're feeling a whole lot better this morning. We've got a request for AIXBT. Let's get that one added to the list. AIXBT. All right. Any other alt requests? Go ahead and drop them in the chat for me. I will take a look at that. We've got a username in the chat, dropping those rib emojis. Good morning to you, username. Hope you're having a great morning so far. We got Chris Klein, Lunar Beaches. I'm sorry I didn't catch the show last night. My schedule has been super crazy lately. They've been swinging me at work. Fiat miners are so weird. Oh yeah, most definitely. I've been kind of in that same. My schedule's all kind of messed up because of work. I might have to do some work late night tonight. Really just depends on what kind of weather we see. So the show schedule might be a little messed up this week. My main income for the winter time is snow removal, so might be seeing a little bit of snow here in Nebraska this week, and I might have some late nights, so we will try to do the show as best as we can given the weather, but I will give y'all some updates in the Discord if it looks like I might not be able to go live in the morning. Looking and feeling better, says Lunar Beaches Crypto. I'm glad to hear it. We had SEI and TRX requested as well. Can definitely take a look at that. SEI and TRX. Got those added to the list. If you have any other alt requests for me, go ahead and drop those in the chat. Jesse Gulek says, getting hungry again. Just finished lunch. And I'm getting a bit hungry too. I should have had a little more than a protein shake after the gym. So definitely going to be smashing on some food here soon. BC looking saucy with the red shirt. Thank you, username. I like red. It's a nice little color on me. It really brings out the color of my skin. Pink does it as well, and so does teal. Those are like my favorite colors to wear. Normally I just wear black though, because it's really easy, and you don't get black shirts dirty. There's a whole song about that. I've been trying to keep up no matter what. Just catches up with me every once in a while. I feel it, Chris Klein. It's going to be a boring rain day at work today. So LBC is going to be in the chats today. I will see y'all there. I have been taking a look at gold quite a bit, It's been doing some crazy moves here as we've seen a lot of market uncertainty. So let's get that gold chart pulled up. I did talk about wanting to see us turn this platinum pocket on an extension into some support here. We're really bumped up against the one line of our Fibonacci extension and then pulled back down to our golden pocket. Looking to try to turn this into some support. We do have a bit of a lower level, which would be a nice area to turn what was resistance into some support, sitting right below our golden pocket, right below our 50% line here, and that's going to be 2,885. We have been making all-time highs on gold. To see a little bit of some pullback here would not be an unhealthy move to make, especially since we've been in a massive uptrend here for quite a while. If you zoom this on out here, it's been a massive move to the upside since about December, and it's been one continuous move with very little pullbacks. It's mostly been some light pullbacks and some sideways movement before we continue that trend back up. We did get above some key areas from back in December, turn that into some support, and then just to blasted off like crazy. So seeing a healthy pullback here would be a nice little move to make. If you hide this fib extension, let's hide that one and pull up a fib retracement to see where we might see a little bit of bouncing here in this current range. You definitely have a bit of an area where you could drop down quite heavily and still see some bullishness in the market. You have 2,811 being that golden pocket on a retracement for our current range, and that'd be a nice area to get that bounce off of and continue that move to the upside, especially since your 4-hour here is looking quite ugly. You do have that money flow kind of faltering up here. Let's get that switch back over. You do have your money flow, which is finally starting to falter just a bit. You have been seeing a little bit of some faltering here, but it's mainly just been continuous buying pressure. You have massive overbought signals as well as a reversal signal as well, and your volume is starting to slow up. Your MACD is set to cross our indicator line on the top side, so even if we do pull back and maintain some of that bullishness at that 2,811 level, it'd still be setting up for a nice maintaining the top side range on our MACD. You do have the 1 hour already looking like it's got some more room to bleed here. You've got a nice little curvature on our prime oscillator, but it's very heavily red. No oversold signals flashing just yet. No reversal signals flashing either. Your volume is faltering quite heavily, and your buying pressure has really started to slow up here. As you can kind of see, we peaked out very hard and have been in a downtrend ever since on that money flow. really seeing some selling pressure, and this divergence here that's stacked up really coming to call. I would really look at some of these lower levels on gold while we try to reclaim some of the strength here. You might see a little bit of some bouncing here on our shorter term time frame before we really continue that downtrend. You've got another attempt to reclaim this indicator line on our bottom side for the 15-minute, and that prime oscillator switching briefly to green as we've moved quite sideways here. Trying to maintain this slow sell-off here. But that prime oscillator switching quite heavily back to red as we are seeing that money flow starting to turn into some selling pressure here, and your volume is starting to pick up on our lower term time frame, indicating you might see some continued selling pressure as it is red. All right, let's hop over to some of those alt requests for today. I was you know how I was talking about Ethereum Classic yesterday, Chris Klein. Well, here's Ethereum Classic. We won't dive into that chart though. It is not really doing a whole lot. We did have AI XBT requested. I think I added that to my list here. I guess I didn't. So we will start out at the top. I know SEI should be up here. Might be in my favorites. All right, we'll go back to my favorites here. SEI. Been a while since I've taken a look at it. Apparently, I made a naked chart because I wasn't happy with what I was seeing. All right, let's get some of these key levels drawn out all over again because it's apparently been a while since I looked at it. You have a bit of some top side that we would be nice to get back up to there where we saw some heavy resistance. You have an area right here as well. Let's get that one drawn out from the daily. Let's get some lower levels drawn out too. Could see a nice little bounce from our lower lows, our higher high here where we first made that trend to the upside. And you've got the nice strong lows there sitting right below that level as well. Let's get these all locked so I don't accidentally move them. And then we'll pull up a fib to kind of see where we're sitting. We are breaking below this current level, so I will do more of a macro here. Let's get that drawn out from the lows to the high. See where we're sitting on the macro. Did break below that platinum pocket there. BC was angry yesterday morning, says username. I wouldn't say angry per se. I would say a little bit unhinged though. I was having a lot of fun, you know. I saw a whole lot of news articles coming out about the crypto markets and how oversaturated it is, and about some of those meme projects and Trump, and I just kind of set it all up this weekend for a dive into some of the nastier side of crypto, and I feel I'm obligated to say some of those things and be a counter voice on things. We do have a LTC requested as well. We can take a look at that one. We do have that 4 hour looking like it's a bit toppy here. So seeing us pull back on the macro down to these lower levels of support at 1717, or if we see some continued selling pressure here to drop down to 1343 would be a nice little move to make here, especially since we have lost the platinum pocket and lost it with a lot of strength. We have overheated on these oscillators as we've moved sideways here. So not an overly positive thing to see, especially as you are seeing reversal signals flash as you've moved sideways here on SEI. If you're looking for accumulation ranges, anything below that 17 range down to that 13 would be a nice little accumulation range if you think you're at least going to get back up to that platinum pocket here and create some more support on that range. That's about 31 cents. And if you're just trading on spot there to get that bottom side back up to the top would be about 135% move to the upside. So definitely a nice little accumulation range if you think you can reclaim that platinum pocket there. Looking at that 1 hour, we also are seeing that same weakness here. Let's zoom that back on in. And you can kind of see we are seeing that weakness as we faltered to really reclaim the high that we made from back here. Let's get a more localized fib pulled up from the low to the high there. And it looks like we faltered at that 236 and are looking to kind of lose it. You do have an area back down here at 21 cents, which is that golden pocket where we've got nice strong bounces off of. Definitely some heavy buying pressure here at that 21.56 range on SEI. Let's see what that 15-minute and the morning might be bringing our way. Looking like you're starting to see some reversal signals to continue going to the upside. But stacking up a divergence and that prime oscillator is still quite red. Really waiting to see that bottoming point coming on in, especially as your MACD just lost the zero line here and is pointed quite heavily to the bottom, same as your indicator line, looking to create a little bit of a gap here. So might be looking for some bottom side bounces here. You do have that 50% line, which could be another little bouncing point if you continue to keep these oscillators quite cool on the bottom side and wait for that curvature to come back in. You have a bit of some strength here at the 382, but I'd look at just a little bit lower with how that higher term time frame on the hourly was looking. They got that reversal signal, MACD just crossing that indicator line, looking like you might see some continued sell-off as you see that first red candle there. We had a AI XBT requested. AI XBT. All right, I think I've taken a look at it on Binance. Is that the chart? Oh, yep, Binance chart. And it looks like we're losing all of these levels here. Let's zoom this on out to the 4-hour, hide our Fibonacci extension there. Looks like we've lost most of the key levels here that we kind of wanted to see hold if it made a bit of a downtrend. Let's see, from the lows to the highs. And if we continue to see this selling pressure coming on in, you might see some of these lower levels get hit. You do have that zero line looking to be maintained here on your 4-hour, but the reversal signal starting to flash, your MACD kind of getting that rollover. And the big thing here is going to be that money flow starting to pick back up at some selling pressure as well. So might be seeing some lower levels that we haven't seen on AI XBT here on this Binance chart. I don't know if anything else has a longer history on it, but it'd be kind of hard to pick out those levels there, especially since I don't know previous price history on it. You have that 15-minute looking like you might see a little bit of a bounce back up to the upside, made some higher highs, some higher lows, looking to try to make a higher low, but for the macro it does look like you might continue this downtrend. Would really need to get back above that 31-cent range, turn that into some strong support. Came in late. BC, did you do ADA? I did not do ADA yet, but I did say I was gonna take a look at that one with how explosive it moved. One of the bigger gainers for today. We did take a look at SEI. We did take a look at AIXBT. Let's take a look at TRX. It was requested as well. Pretty sure I have that on my list here. Yep, there we go. I don't think I've done some TA on it in quite a while. Can take a look at LTC and then TRX after that. Anyone ever send BC some memes? No. No, username. I will not accept your meme tokens. You can keep those things. I don't want them. I've got six projects I buy, and I'm quite happy with them, and I don't want any more projects in my wallet. It's too much to keep track of. It's not too much to keep track of, but I just don't want your memes. I'm good. I'm good. I will never be a meme guy. I will never be a meme guy. I am a utility guy, and that's all I buy. I want that long-term potential. We do have a TRX looking like it's got some room to run here on our daily chart. You did look like you're creating some support here on our one line on a Fibonacci extension, which also happened to be a resistance area as well, making a bit of a downtrend here, which looks a bit flaggy, which could lead to a breakout. You have your 1 hour looking like it's got a bit of some cool off to do, but you might see us continue that move to the upside if you can maintain some positive money flow. Would really need to break above some of these key levels up here. Let's get that horizontal ray drawn out. We had those very equal highs, and that's that 2581, which we would need to turn into some support here on a 1 hour to really continue to see that move to the upside. You've been shit talking memes too, says LBC. Sir, you know me. I am always shit talking memes. I will continue to do that the entire time I am in crypto, because I want to see my utility projects and the future of crypto do quite well. Let's take a look at this 15-minute and see what we might be seeing. We do have a bit of an uptrend, which is looking to create some support here at key levels. You did see some bounces along the way down to these levels down here, which is what we've reclaimed the entire way up. You did get some strong bounces here where we saw a little bit of resistance, looking to create a bounce here where we saw some resistance on the way down, created some support back here on a very quick support here. So that could be a nice little level on a shorter term time frame to really see a nice strong bounce. Let's make that a lighter line there, so you can kind of see that's going to be that 2431, where you might see a brief bounce on a shorter term time frame to try to continue that uptrend. You have some nice lower levels here as well. We've got very equal candle bodies at about 2376 as well. We did see a bit of resistance on that range, really never turned it into some strong support. So that's where we might see some bouncing if you do come down quite heavily on TRX. Let's take a look at LTC. I don't think I've taken a look at it in quite a while. There we go. And it's a naked chart all over again. I guess I haven't taken a look at it in quite a while. Let's zoom that on out to the daily. It's been moving quite nicely, looking to reclaim areas where we saw some resistance. Let's get that line drawn out on our daily here. Make that thicker so that we know it's a higher term time frame. Looking like we might try to turn this into some support. Still got a bit of red here on our prime oscillator. You're moving a little bit sideways as you've broke the indicator, line and our zero line here on LTC. Looking to try to create some strong support here on the daily. At least it is quite red. Could be a very quick rollover though and continue to the upside. Let's take a look at that hourly. Yep, hourly looking a bit toppy there as you broke your indicator line on our MACD and looking at a bit of some downside. You have your prime oscillator as well, looking a little bit red here as you've got overbought signals and reversal signals starting to flash. Might make a brief little push back up to some higher levels around here. We've got some nice equal candles, about 140.93. Let's get that dropped down to that lower term We've got 140.93 where you might make a last ditch effort to try to get. We are trying to hold this current high where we saw some resistance as some support here. You do have that 15-minute also looking like you might see that continued pushback up to the upside. So that's where I'd look at trying to get back up to that 140.93 before you really try to reclaim some support down here at some key levels. And definitely a bit of some whipsaw action, just like the rest of the market. Kind of been looking like it might go both ways. Ribs is utility, says username. Yeah, and that's something I might dive into. Make a little bit of an AI project with y'all this bear market. And Trump coin will have utility. You can use it to buy Trump merch and make him even richer. That's utility, right? I don't have time to dive into that one. We might have to do a special LBC all over again and talk about a lot of this. I did say that I wanted to do some more diving into projects with you, and I actually talked about that before you joined the show today. So we might have to do that here again because there's a lot to talk about in crypto. Might have to bring on Keith from Crypto Coin Mindset as well. He might be another good voice to have on that, especially with some of the things that have been going on. He wants to get back to some of those basics, and I think he'd be a great voice. I don't see that as utility. That's like going to I think Chuck E. Cheese is out of business now, but that'd be like going to Chuck E. Cheese and buying their game tokens, playing the game, getting the tickets, and then buying the merchandise that they've already pre-bought. You know, it's an enclosed loop, so no utility there. All right, we've got ADA making some nice moves off of our golden pocket here, getting back up to that 50 line on our Fibonacci retracement that we've had drawn out since we got that first initial push up back in December. Looking to try to hold this golden pocket as some support. We have that 4-hour looking a little bit toppy here on our prime oscillator, still maintaining that green as we've got our first overbought signals. Looking for a little bit of some cool off. Let's see, you might see a little bit of bouncing here at those equal candle bodies. Let's make that a little bit higher term time frame at that 76-cent range where we've kind of created a fair value gap on the way. So it's like Dave and Buster, says username. Yes, 100%. It's an enclosed system. There's no utility on it. You spend your real dollars on fake dollars that buy you crap. So enclosed system that absolutely brings nothing positive. All right, let's take a look here at this 1 hour. You are seeing the 1 hour being a bit toppy as well. Did see the prime oscillator finally switching back to that red here. Your volume's looking quite nice though. So if you can maintain some of this volume and money flow, come back down, turn this key area into some support here. Might get that pushback up to some levels we haven't been to in quite a while. That 50% line on our fib extension is some very local resistance here, and we would really need to break back above here, get back to this 86-cent range and turn that into some support. Once we've turned that 50 into some support, we have that 15-minute sitting at a bit of an area where you might see some continued breakout. Volume really faltering though. Got some strong divergences playing out here. And MACD looking to kind of make a last ditch effort towards that indicator line. So it's really going to depend on this money flow. That's really what I'd keep my eye on here on a shorter term time frame as we start getting back up to this 50%. See if we stack up another divergence. Prime oscillator just did turn green though, so you might see this all done in a quick move, get above that 50 before we really start seeing that faltering back down. I really would want to see that 80, that lower level 76 cents turned into some strong support. That's kind of more of a macro move though. Could see that short term push back up above our 50% fib line at 82 cents though. All right, it is 7 o'clock. I will wind the show down here. Man, haven't been to Dave and Buster's since I was a kid in the 90s. I haven't been to Dave and Buster's in forever. I might have to take my girl and her kid there for a weekend trip. So could have a lot of fun. Enclosed system though. So kind of like a whole meme, a meme and a meme. So thank you for everyone that tuned in today. We do have Piper at his new time at 10 a.m. Eastern. Make sure to tune into that. It will flow right from Alexo Crypto, where I'll see y'all in the chats in just a second, into Piper Academy at the morning market report. We do have Trade Academy at 4 p.m. Eastern time. If you haven't been tuning into that one, I've been learning quite a bit, or refreshing on some stuff I haven't touched on in quite a bit. So I love that. I love that Trade Academy at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Got that crypto nightcap at 8 p.m. Eastern time with TradeFly, and Markets After Dark with Lunar Beaches Crypto at 11 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and make sure that notification bell is dinged, because we've got 5 shows a day, so it can be a little hard to keep track of. So other than that, everyone make sure to wake up, because today's going to be a good day. And make sure to drop those graduation caps in that Alex O chat when we get over there. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.